information you do not want to miss. So make sure you go to donandgino.com, DONANDGINO.com. Click on the Listen Live, and you can watch and listen to us. We're waving at you as we speak. And
as I like to say, you can look at the experience in the room.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. Thank you for that. And we want to thank Cherry Creek Mortgage for sponsoring our show. It's an incredible mortgage company. Been around since 1987. It helps Gino and I help you with your dream of home ownership.
And they're in the beautiful city of Denver, right?
Yes, that's right. They're based out of Denver, and which is a horrible place to have to go visit our corporate headquarters.
Oh, it's absolutely horrible. I'm looking forward to the annual award ceremony there. It's going to be horrible.
Yes.
Yeah. But I will say that I do want to celebrate for Cherry, on behalf of Cherry Creek, that they had their best year in their history.
Oh my gosh, $3.7 billion in mortgages. Nice. And you're going, who the heck's Cherry Creek? We are letting you know who Cherry Creek is right here in Valencia, because that's what our job is to help more and more of you with sound advice for your mortgages. I know a lot of you, sorry to say, got poor advice with your mortgages or had a nightmare. We just had a client call up just recently saying, oh my gosh, Don, I'm going to apologize to you now. Remember, we were looking into refinancing with you after you did a great job on our purchase, but we decided to go with our bank because we thought it would be easier because they're our bank. He goes, oh my heck. He goes, 6 months later, and I have no hair left. My wife and I are barely together. We are now calling you because you did a great job for us. So make sure you get good advice, because it's not just about going to a big institution it has to be somebody that you referred to that you trust. We trust Lou Esbin. We send all our clients to him regarding their debt, not just bankruptcy, their debt in general, whether they're doing a short sale or they're just dying from debt, literally dying from debt. He is a good person to talk to, a nice man, a nice attorney.
And how to keep out of debt.
I was just going to talk about that. I was just going to say, there's not all bad debt.
Not all bad debt.
No, Lou can help you incur good debt, too. No, I'm serious, especially if you're growing a business. If your business is growing right now, you really should talk to Lou, because the things we discuss with Lou about growing businesses and what they need to look out for, and maybe it's not bad. Maybe growing organically is not as easy as purchasing companies.
That's
you
right.
can help with M&As, and so there's a lot of things you can talk to Lou about. He's not just the debt doctor.
Right.
We got to come up with a new name. We'll polish that a little bit.
The importance is that I can look at a business situation from the perspective of a certified specialist in bankruptcy, and to be able to counsel clients on how not to fail. So because, I have a background in finance and accounting, I can read a spreadsheet. I can look at a marketing plan. I can look at a business plan and say to a client, hey, this is good, this is not good, let's go this way, let's go that way, let's document the deal, because a lot of people don't document their deals properly.
Yeah, you're trying to help us with that as well. I appreciate that.
And so it's a matter of, teaching people to use all these tools that we all have to avoid where we've been.
Yeah, and we just spoke a lot about where we've been. So let's talk a little bit about where we are now. Where do we think we are now in today's economic climate?
It's really tough. There's so many variables today that the small guy just pretty much can't comprehend how they fit in. We were talking about the QE. That's something on your list. QE is the
quantitative easing.
Quantitative easing.
Right.
It's like potato. I call it quantitative. He calls it quantitative.
Money.
I call it printing money.
I call it printing money too.
And really, what it's done is it's propped up the stock market. To help the big boys. Well, actually, to help fund up the pension plans that took such a hit in 2009. So they've effectively gotten their money back by the government putting the money back into the market.
Well, and what that's done is it has given people confidence in general as a whole, because by helping the stock market, that's also helped everybody recover most of their 401ks they had lost, especially people that were close to retirement. I know quite a few people that were very close to retirement and lost more than half their assets. So I think they've done a pretty good job of fixing the mess we got ourselves into.
Well, they have, but is it a short-term fix with a very long-term problem?
Yeah. Is it? So the question is it sustainable?
Is it sustainable? They talk about inflation. They talk about a lot of issues that arise from the printing of the money. So where we are today, what we talked about is, where we're going will really depend upon what we do today.
So what can we do today to prevent the mistakes of the past, Lou?
Well, I think on an individual household basis and for small business, they really need to be aware of their affordability. Okay.
Wait, that's a key word. Say that again, because we lost track of that for a while.
Well,
I mean, in some ways, this backtrack of our economic crash is in some ways been a good thing, because we're getting pretty gluttonous at a point.
Sure. There needs to be attention to affordability, and that's those 4 rules that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, those are really the 4 rules of affordability. And those 4 rules are like, want, need, and afford.
Want, need, and afford. I love that.
So can you elaborate a little bit on
Sure.
each one of those?
Sure.
Because there's a lot of things I like. There's
Sure.
a lot of things I want.
There you go.
And let me clarify, you're listening to Lou Esbin, our debt doctor. You get
Right.
a hold of him at esbinlaw.com.
Right, and I'm local to community, and I can be reached at 661-254-5050.
254-5050 to get a hold of our debt doctor.
That's right.
That's a good number.
So
Yeah.
it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we have like, want, need, and afford. Okay, so it's basically like this. You know, you go to the mall and you say, "Oh, I like that."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I
You
think
know,
we
so
all
sounds
do that.
like my
Yeah.
wife.
Right? So you identify something and you
Oh,
say,
now you're in trouble.
I know.
"Yeah, you know, I like that," and they go, "Well, I want that." Right? And so when everybody was drinking from the Kool-Aid, you took out your credit card, which had a bottomless limit, right? And you bought it. So all you did was answer those 2 questions, like and want. Oh, I like that. I want that. And you.
I got it.
You got
And you
it.
took action.
And you took action.
Based
right?
on emotion.
But need and afford was missing. Okay. Do I need that
New pair of boots.
new pair of boots? That
New car.
12th Tommy Bahama shirt?
Hey,
You
hey, hey.
Now you're hurting Don where it hurts.
Right? Do I need that? Oh no, I already have a closet full,
Right.
or I already have a 3rd-car garage full of crap.
Right.
You know, so need was a much more difficult word
I
to
agree.
answer honestly. Okay, and afford requires that you say, can I afford that? Do I have retirement savings? Do I have health insurance? Do I have savings in the bank? You know, do I have money set aside for my kids' college? Is my mortgage paid? Is it paid ahead? Are all the bills paid? If you couldn't intellectually and honestly answer that question, afford, you should have just been window shopping.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say a lot of people are doing that, because I know we were basically paying off all that debt on a, I don't know, annual to biannual basis
Oh, sure.
on refinancing their
Sure.
homes, pulling the cash out.
I will tell you something about that, Don, that thankfully our industry has made changes as well. If you were to do that today, if we were to pay off all your credit card debt through a cash out refinance,
Yeah.
you're required, if you're paying off to qualify, you're required to close all those credit cards.
Nice.
Which will damage your credit,
Right.
which will not let you get in trouble for quite some time.
Right. That's
So,
right.
so we have made some
Well-
changes in an industry as an industry to start preventing some of these things from happening.
But the credit card companies, today they're right back in the game of soliciting credit card offers all over again, because I have clients who file bankruptcy, and no sooner do they get their
Oh.
discharge than there's just a slew of solicitations in the mail.
Yeah, trying to get you back in trouble
Yeah.
again.
Oh yeah, well, you know, it's like waiting for the junkie to come out of rehab.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. Okay, so let's clarify these rules again, because even like we had Jack Cotton, he's one of the top real estate agents in the nation. He talked about what happened with real estate, and he said people forgot the rules of real estate and why it's the best investment there is, period, in history. Real estate's been one of the best investment. And I know you work with business people and individuals, helping them manage all this.
Correct. And so that is a cornerstone of my philosophy, of my counseling clients. And, you know, it's not only counseling them as a lawyer, but, you know, I do take on more or less the role of a financial counselor, trying to keep them on course and out of trouble.
So there's something I wanted to bring up. You mentioned Jack Cotton. Jack Cotton last week on our show learned from his dog, right? He wrote a book called A Dog's Guide to Life, Lessons You Can Learn from a Dog Named Moose.
Okay.
And
Nice
Moose
memory.
was a voracious eater, but he always left some food in the bowl, just in case there was none tomorrow. And I think that what you're talking about is very similar into what he's talking about, where, hey, we've got to prepare. We've got to be diligent. We've got to see, can we apply these rules to the purchases we make into our lifestyle? We got to leave some food in the bowl before I can get my wants.
And he said his dog wasn't that smart.
And these rules, you have to realize that these 4 rules, like want, need, and afford, or the rules of affordability, basically, it would not, if they're strictly followed, you're not going to get the explosive consumer economy that we had before, because it's all based upon, if it's not in your pocket, and you don't have it, you don't have it, you're not spending it. So that's kind of the downside to it. If there's a downside, there's an upside. The upside is we may not be subject to those wide swings like we talked about.
Right.
We may be a society that grows economically more feasibly and healthier. And I think that's more important for our kids, grandkids, parents, and everyone else that we associate with.
So that's the new normal, right?
I think that should be the new norm.
And it should be.
It should be.
And you gotta, hopefully you're listening. Again, we're talking with Lou Esbin, our debt doctor, with Esbin Law. You can find him at esbinlaw.com, 254-5050. Pretty easy. And if you're listening, you can hear his passion. He has the same passion we do, and why we've been on for 2 years and why we're going to continue to be on is because we want to guide you to personal financial wellness, and we all need that more than ever. We've all gone through some troublesome times.
Right.
And we want to help you. So make sure you reach out to us at 855-DON-GINO. Make sure you pay attention, because we're going to come back with what have we learned and what are the solutions and options to take you to a wonderful 2013. When we come back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show on your hometown station, AM 1220, KHTX.